Hi, welcome to What Do White Guy Show. I'm Whitey, and today I'm going to review a film called Reign of Fire, which came out in 2002, which stars Matthew McConaughey, Christian Bale, and Gerard Butler, with a few other recognizable faces that I can't name offhand. The premise is that in current year, around 2000 or whatever, they're making film. Maybe it was a little earlier. Christian Bale, his character is a kid. There's some kind of underground construction going on, some pipes and whatnot, and they come across a dragon egg. No, like a dragon. Um, Somehow they wake a dragon. After fictional character from 1,000 years ago. Anyway, dragons end up destroying most of the world, and it's kind of like that happens when he's a kid, and then flash forwarded, 30 years later or something. And they, over the course of the film, they kind of go back and show like the world in flames and dragons destroy everything. And so in the current year of the film, there's the last few pockets of humanity which are trying to survive. And Christian Bale runs a castle, and he's got about 100, 200 survivors, a lot of whom are kids, and they're trying to grow crops. And his strategy is to tunnel under the castle, and have supplies and stuff there, grow vegetation to eat and live off vegetables and whatnot, and outlast the dragons. Um, and along comes Matthew McConaughey, and Gerard Butler plays his best friend. And it's a very, what would you call it? Apocalyptic landscape. Everything's in ashes. The dragons are big, dragons. They shoot flames, and just destroy everything. And Matthew McConaughey comes along with a group of Americans, about 100, and I think he had like a company like 120 Americans, and they're trying to take it all back, destroy the dragons. And they tracked, I forget exactly how it works, but they tracked the epidemiology of the dragons, and there's a big alpha dragon male that can spread, I imagine, sperm over hundreds of eggs provided by the females, and suddenly there's thousands of dragons very rapidly. And so Matthew McConaughey and his soldiers, who are supposed to be like an American National Guard unit, they're there to find and locate this alpha male dragon and destroy it, so the species will die off. Um, and then that puts them at conflict because Christian Bale's like, well, we're just trying to outlast them, and if you go out and find them, they establish this in the film. They backtrack, the dragons will backtrack where he came from and lay the place to waste with fire. So Christian Bale is worried that Matthew McConaughey is going to bring dragons to him, where they've largely gone unnoticed for several years. And then they go and fight. End up fighting. Enemies become friends. Friends become enemies. There's a hot chick in it. So I don't want to ruin it because it is a good film. But before I get into some of the pros, the asshole that I am, I can't be like, modern militaries wouldn't have a problem with this, like, at all. So they show you the dragons that are, well, look good, especially for 2002. They look really good, look really sharp, and it's like they're moving at glacial speed by comparison to an F-16, an aircraft that can do 3 and 4 times beyond the speed of light, and have rockets that can fire for miles and blow shit up with infrared and tracking systems, anti-aircraft. The Navy out at sea can blow shit up in the sky. It's kind of what they do. If they can take out aircraft 1,000 feet in the air and blow them up, what's a dragon gonna accomplish? Like, you're gonna be able to detect that dragon on your radar, take him out of the sky when he's 70 miles away with rocket systems. So this is very much a Jurassic Park of a film. I don't know what you would call that genre, but you have to suspend your disbelief. So Jurassic Park, you ain't bringing back dinosaurs with no mitochondrial DNA. I don't even have to do a deep dive into the science behind that. mitochondria isn't no. It's just a no. It's just a hard no. I could go into Jurassic Park all day. Point is, you have to set that fact aside to establish this world to tell the interesting and engaging story that you want to tell. So it's like, okay, you can't bring back dinosaurs, but if you could, this would be interesting if, and you enjoy Jurassic Park, it's a good film. And there's a lot of philosophical discussion about capitalism, consumerism, man's hubris into science, playing the role of God, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, yes, this can't happen, but shh. Let's just say it can and enjoy this film. You know, like a time travel movie. Time doesn't exist. You can't travel through it. But if you could, here's this movie. It's fun. Just enjoy it. This is that movie. This is a suspend your disbelief film, which all films are, but this is more so. Dragons wouldn't stand a chance against the modern military, but shh. Just in case, let's set that over here and just have a fun time with this film. And with that, it is a very good film. It looks fantastic. You could nitpick just a smidge of some of the effects where you're like, okay, that's green screen. I can tell. But it's 2002. You can't be too rude. And it's actually, for 2002, it looks really good. So it's like, you could minor nitpick a few things. But generally speaking, it looks fantastic. It holds up very well, especially the practical shots. The dragons look fantastic. And you're like going, wow, this is 2002. Those are some damn good looking dragons. The writing is really sharp. Again, you kind of gotta put that, if you can set that disbelief aside, or you disbelief thing. The writing is sharp. The dialogue is crisp. The movie flows. All of it is done really well, and it's not just we got to kill some dragons. There's the two characters, Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey, again, are odds at one another, and it's the two philosophies. It's the peaceful, let's just outlast them, humanity, huzzah, and then Matthew McConaughey is like, we need, there's one point where they're duking it out, physically duking it out, and Matthew McConaughey's like, that's what we need, so it's a warrior society, use violence and kill your opponent, or the more peaceful approach, and the pros and cons to both. At no point does the film really say these guys are wrong, these guys are right. So it's a film like Jurassic Park with an interesting philosophical debate at the heart of it, and the pros and cons to both approaches. Let me think. Film looks good. Film looks really good in my opinion. It's an excellent looking movie. The writing is done really well. The score is there. It wasn't Shawshank Redemption. It didn't stand out to me, but it wasn't nails on the chalkboard, so it just worked fine. Where you don't really notice it. It wasn't very score heavy, so it works fine. And then the best part about this film, I feel, is the performances. Christian Bale is Christian Bale. He does a really good job with it. He's earnest. He's stoic. He's humble, which is kind of like Ernest. And he cares about these guys. He's trying to help these people against dramatic odds. Gerard, Butler, I saw this years and years ago, and then I of course saw 300 and a number of films he's been in. I didn't realize he was in this. So when I saw it way back, I didn't know who Gerard Butler was, but my brain never was like, oh hey, that's that guy. Then I watched it again, and I said, oh holy crap, that's Jerry Butler. That's Gerard Butler. My King Leonidas is in this. Wow. And he does a really good job. And the other films I've seen him in, he tends to play a very strong physical guy. He's the goofy one. He's the light comedy guy. He's very likable. He does a really good job. And then Matthew McConaughey. Those two guys do a great job. Everybody else does a great job. But Matthew McConaughey, who can be I think he's a good actor all around, but the films he's in, it's a bit hit and miss. This is A+. Plus. Matthew McConaughey. This is him at his best. Like, he is unrecognizable. Like, if you just saw him in a couple things way back, you wouldn't know it was him. And I had a friend who was like, I didn't know that was Matthew McConaughey. Because I was like, yeah, Matthew McConaughey did a good job to him. And I was like, That was Matthew McConaughey. So Matthew McConaughey's played a lot of romantic rom com kind of movies, and he's the suave guy. Here, he looks like a Scottish warrior. He looks like a Scottish Highlander. He's got like tats all up and down. He's not Schwarzenegger, but he's toned up, and he's got a shaved head and a red beard, and he's got the cigar going. And brother, he looks like he could kick some serious ass. So this is like way to fucking go, Matthew. Yeah, fuck yeah, that's Matthew McConaughey. Pay some respect. And it's not always the case in these movies. So I was really digging this, and I thought it's really well done. I'm a big fan. Again, you can nitpick and find some flaws, faux show, but the pros outweigh the cons. It's one of those films like you watch Predator, and it's flawed film, but it's so freaking good. You're like, I don't care. I don't care that they're wasting their ammo. I want to see them blowing crap up with that mini gun, old painless and all stuff. And it's one of those films. It's like, yes, it's a bit of a stretch on that one, but I still like the film. Not to the extent of Predator, but this is definitely like a B plus A minus kind of film. Um, some of the things about it, I'll go back to what I was talking about earlier. If you know anything about how the military works, I was never in the military. I don't want to misrepresent. I know something about it, but I've seen plenty of movies. I've studied up. I know I'm from other tactics, and yet all that. More as I was a history minor. I studied wars, uh, and some of their ideas about how the military works is like, okay, a Hollywood writer wrote this. You did now. You know, this is kind of dumb. And so they have these guys that paratroop out of the sky. And their idea is to take nets and capture the thing, and there's a reason for it, I'm sure. And it looks cool, but it's like, no one would do that. And then, why go up into the sky and parachute? And at one point, the lady is like 17 seconds. And Jarbo's like, what? And she's like, that's the life expectancy, 17 seconds. And I'm like, that's not what the word life expectancy means. Life expectancy is from the time you're born. I get your point, but could you have written that one a little different? That's the some other word. That's how long they tend to live. 17 seconds. It's like, okay, so most of your guys jumping out of a helicopter with parachutes to capture with nets, and they only last 17 seconds on average or something. Maybe, just maybe find a different approach. It all looks great. It really intense scene. They're falling through the clouds and everything, and so it's like you did this because it looks cool. But then when all is said and done, they lose 4 guys to kill 1 dragon, and Matthew McConaughey makes that point because then they're all celebrating because it's been a long time since somebody's killed a dragon because they're taking the peaceful approach, and he's like, "So you're celebrating? We lost 4 guys to kill 1 dragon. At that rate, they'll be all gone in 300 years." And I'm like, isn't this your plan? Then why are you doing this? And then at one point, there's a line where the Americans show up and they got tanks and whatnot, and they're asking to get in for just one day to refit all their gear and their equipment. And he says, we need to refit artillery. I'm like, oh, you have artillery? Okay, you have artillery. You have tanks that can fire rounds into the sky. So why not just let the dragons come to you, and then when they're up in the sky 1,000 yards away, blow them up? Why are you doing that? Like, why do the jump out of the plane thing or a helicopter thing? And then they have helicopters. Okay. Why not outfit that helicopter with some rockets and some miniguns, and then when the dragon's 10,000 yards away, blow it up? with rockets. And then you've gone from the United States, Matthew McConaughey has gone from the United States to England. I imagine that probably took a boat. And why didn't they kill you at sea? But so again, dig in, fort up with artillery batteries and quad 50s and all the shit you had that you came rolling into town with. And so I agree with Christian Bale's character. Set that up. Set up a defensive perimeter. You got grow your vegetables and your food right here. If you got any cows and sheep, and then set up a defensive perimeter around that. And when they come, show up, shoot them with your shit. You know, the easy way instead of what you're doing, which is getting you slaughtered. And then by the end of the movie, Matthew McConaughey's the only one of them left. It's just like, what are you doing? This is so stupid. So at one point, him and his guys, spoilers, him and his guys are out in column in mechanization with vehicles, and they're going down the road, and what happens? The thing that would happen, the dragon kills them. With fire! And so Matthew McConaughey's got a shotgun. He's like, let's get him. And it's like, oh, what is that shotgun going to do to a dragon? There are no circumstances by which you're going to get close enough for that shotgun to hit anything, because shotguns don't have a lot of power at distance, and if you did get that close, that little shotgun ain't going to do a thing to a dragon. Nothing they got. And Christian Bale's got this hunting rifle, and at the end of the movie, he shoots it twice, and it was like, to the dragon, is like getting hit by a pellet gun. I'm like, why are you guys doing the things you're doing? And you're the heroes I'm supposed to follow and respect. And I'm like, but if you can turn that part of your brain off, the tactical facet of your brain, if you can just like boop and put the tard in play, it's a great film. Other than nothing they're doing makes sense at all from a tactical or strategic standpoint. And it's like, it's one of them when Hollywood writes movies about war and soldiers. It's this is why you don't do this. This is why nobody does this. Because this is what happens to you. It's like the movie Aliens. I was just watching that. And it's like, this is why you do nothing these guys are doing. Because this is what happens to you. But other than that, it's a great film. It was a joy to watch. So, Reign of Fire, do go check it out. If nothing else, Matthew McConaughey makes this worth it. So again, he's doing stupid shit. Oh, yeah. But he's so badass in his approach, it's like you can't not admire the guy. So, Reign of Fire, 2002, Matthew McConaughey, Gerard, Butler, Christian Bale, a bunch of other people. Check it out. It's fun. Don't think too much, but it's fun. And it's actiony, but with some depth to it. Depth of characters, depth of philosophical debate of how to do things and the right way to do things. I enjoyed it. Go watch, enjoy. I wish you the best. So, as Whitey White Guy Show, I'm Whitey. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe, share on your Twitter or some such. And I love you for it. Cheers. Good journey. I got to bring that back. Late.